peace, progress, and prosperity. Always remember, you are not alone.
Now, while that may feel, it may sound a bit narcissistic, and you might say, oh, okay, so what if he doesn't satisfy his partner? He should move on. I believe there are other exercises and there are other things that you could do that could also bring your partner to, that level of satisfaction that you're not physically able to get them to. There are toys, there are, things, a lot of things. I'm not going to go into them. You can go and do the research on your own. But I believe that if you can't get your partner there, if you can't hit that peak physically, then you should be able to augment. Once you can augment, then you've basically like you've struck a balance, so to speak. So let's talk about the common sexual health concerns and their impact on a man's well-being. There's erectile dysfunction. So the inability to get it up can lead to anxiety and self-doubt. Men may experience feelings of inadequacy that may impact their sexual health and overall well-being. There's also premature ejaculation. This can cause frustration and a sense of failure. You can feel like, what is going on? And you keep trying harder, and you feel like a failure. My brother, you are not a failure. That's your limit. Find a way to augment. There's also, it can make you also question your sexual abilities, and it can potentially affect your self-esteem. You shouldn't let it get that far before you seek help. Don't forget, seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength and authenticity. There's also low libido. So the decreased sexual drive in some men can make them have concerns about their attractiveness and desirability. It can also affect their self-esteem and make them feel disconnected from their partner, because they feel like, okay, maybe my partner is not doing it for me, or maybe I'm not doing it enough for my partner, like on when it comes to attractiveness or arousal. Then there's body image issues, which can contribute to sexual insecurities, and there's negative body image issues that can impact your confidence and hinder sexual enjoyment. So you feel like, okay, because you don't have six packs, your wife will not, or your girlfriend will not, feel the sensual feeling of rubbing her hands all over your hard, strong, six packs. So it begins to affect how, you might even begin to overthink during sex. Then there's sexual orientation and identity. This topic is very, 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 very delicate and intricate, and I don't know what else to say about it. But I don't want to go into it. I'm just going to touch briefly on it. So there's this confusion or societal stigma that surrounds sexual orientation, and it may lead to some form of internalized shame. That's all I'm going to say about that. Then there's also acceptance and understanding of your sexual identity. It is very crucial to your mental health. You need to understand what works for you sexually, what gets you into the game sexually. It is very, very, very important. First of all, you need to set realistic expectations. See, any man that is going 7 rounds, he's augmenting. He's using something. He's using booster or manpower. It's not natural. It's not easy to do that much, and not burn out eventually. How long can you do that for? At what age? It's not easy. Maybe yes, when you are younger and you are still in your teenage years or your early 20s, maybe you can go that long because you still have the energy and you are fresh off the boat. But the older you get, trust me, that energy will wane. There's also communication and connection. If you focus on communication in your sexual relationship, it's going to help you a lot, and it's going to help you avoid a lot of sexual problems. There's also the building of emotional connections in a relationship and understanding each other's needs. That contributes to a healthier sexual dynamic. Then let's talk about debunking stereotypes. Look, we need to challenge the stereotypes around sexual performances. I know it's not do or die. It's not do or die. Do what you can do and go achieve. It's not by force. If you can't, men need to understand something. Because society has said, or because women say that, oh, single rounds, that's what that's what the woman needs. My brother, find out what works for your woman. Do it to the best of your ability and go and sleep. Don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself. If you kill yourself, this woman will mourn for a while and then move on to the next available person. That's the truth. It's a fact. She will mourn for a while and then seek out her pleasure somewhere else. Because you died trying to satisfy her by all means. What about you? Take care of yourself. It is very, 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 very important. So, we also need to seek professional help when it comes to these things. I feel like a lot of men shy away from speaking up and seeking help because of the stereotypes and the stigma attached to men's sexual health. I mean, for women, it's less pressurizing, but for men, there's a whole lot of pressure when it comes to that regard. So you need to also promote self-acceptance. Is it only 2 rounds that is your limit? Is it only 3? Is it 4? Accept the fact that that is the best that you can do. Try and push your limit, but make sure that, just ensure that you don't overwork yourself sexually. Don't put yourself in a position where you begin to question your self-esteem, your self-worth, your identity, your sexuality, because you are not conforming to societal standards. There's no benefit to it. Now, let's talk about the positive aspects of sexual health on a man's ego and self-esteem. We've mentioned enhanced self-confidence, validation and desirability, emotional connection, sense of competence, and reduced stress. Now, sense of competence and reduced stress comes in where you feel like, okay, maybe you're not even conforming to society's expectations and the standard that society has set, but you are doing your duty, you're doing it dutifully, you're satisfying your woman, you're giving her the best that you have, and she's getting it. It gives you that sense of competence. Like, there's also reduced stress. I'm a living testimony of this. Good sex reduces stress. I think that should be a motivational quote. So, good sex reduces stress. Sika 2024. So yeah, positive sexual experiences can act as natural stress reliever, and you can also reduce stress levels can also contribute to improved sexual health, improve mental well-being, and a more positive self-perception, or let's say ego. Now let's discuss the importance of communication, intimacy, and emotional connection in your sexual relationships. Maybe with your wife, your girlfriend, your concubines, your side chicks, your SWGs, for the legends that know what SWGs mean, which by the way is a Yoruba word. So, communication, expressing desires and boundaries. So talk to your partner. I've always wanted to try this thing. And you also need to set a boundary. Oh, this one, I know they do. Take for example, for me, I talk to my woman and I tell her, okay, so these are some of the things that I've been dreaming of doing to you sexually, and I want to know if you're comfortable with them. So we begin to kind of like converse, have a dialogue about it. Oh, okay, I think maybe I'd like to try this, or I think maybe I'm comfortable enough with you to do this, or I think this is a no-go area for me. Now, I don't want to delve into the details, but on the peripheral, that's how I know that, oh, okay, when it gets down to it, I can try this. And she's not going to like, oh, what are you doing? It's very, very important, because sometimes when that happens in the other room, it kind of affects you. Like that jarring, that shock can like throw you off your game and throw you off balance. It also reduces anxiety. Discussing expectations and concerns can take away that anxiety that you have, like, shit, I will feel take care of this woman like this, if you know what I mean. And it can promote a more relaxed and enjoyable experience overall. Now, there's intimacy, emotional vulnerability, and building trust. So intimacy is not just about telling your partner, what is wrong with you, communicating your emotions. It also involves sharing authentic sexual feelings. So tell your partner, I think maybe you understand. I don't want to be vulgar about it, but you need to tell your partner, what you're feeling sexually. I just communicate. It helps. I'm sure even the woman will think, oh my God, he just said that. And then that might just be the thing that she needs to get her going. You never know. Some women's genitals are voice activated. You just need to speak to it, so to speak. Now, there's also building trust. Intimacy helps you build trust by creating a safe space for open communication and exploration. There's emotional connection. It deepens the bond the two of you have, especially sexually, and it enhances the pleasure. That's when you know that what you are doing is the right thing. You are hitting the right spot. You are ginger. You are motivated to perform further. So there's mutual exploration. The two of you kind of you have a sense of adventure when it comes to these things. So you know that, okay, this is my partner's preferences. These are my partner's preferences. These are the things that my partner doesn't want. And it also helps you adapt to change. So maybe you kind of have a perception towards sex. Maybe, let's say, as a man, you believe that you are the pleaser. You always have to satisfy the woman. Communicating with your partner can also make you understand that sometimes the woman might just want to do the work. She might just want to be the one doing the work, and you just lay there and enjoy and be taken care of. So those are some of the things that that you derive from mutual exploration. Then there's consent and respect. Now, I believe all sexual experiences should be consensual, but we don't live in an ideal world. There's rape, there's on and on and on. So a clear communication of boundaries will establish consent as regards certain things that you want to do in the other room. There's also respect. It sounds crazy or mundane, but there's that mutual respect, and it's very, very fundamental for a very positive sexual experience. For a very positive sexual experience. Look, if you do not respect your partner, or your partner doesn't respect you, you're just going to do and go. You're just relieving sexual tension, no pleasure, nothing, no enjoyment, and that's the end. Now, for me, this is the most important: post-sexual communication, feedback, and analysis. Because I'm a big fan of analytics and numbers, I believe that this is one of the things that can help you improve your sexual health. You need to take feedback, open communication about your sexual encounters with your partner. It allows you to debrief and take constructive information about your performance. That way you know what you're doing right, what you shouldn't do, and what to focus on more in your next sex capade. Now, it helps with continuous improvement, because when you take feedback, you kind of work on the things that, when you take positive feedback, you kind of work on the things that you've done, and they just keep improving and improving, and you learn to contribute to a positive sexual dynamic between you and your relationship, and your partner in your relationship. And this can then lead to a wholesome sense of achievement, and just boost your ego and your sense of self, so to speak. Now, let's now address the stigma surrounding sexual health problems for men. There's this, in the society, it's a cultural taboo to speak up when you have sexual health problems. The stigma can lead to silence, shame, and the reluctance to seek guidance or, share your concerns. There's also the fear of judgment, personal embarrassment, lack of education. And, these are just some of the things that, if you, without going in deeper, they are the things that generally contribute to, the stigma surrounding the discussion of sexual health for men. Now, these are some of the practical tips that I believe are effective, that can help you while seeking help for sexual health concerns. Number one, we need to normalize these conversations. Look, women talk the dirtiest when they are alone or when they are alone together. Like, they talk about unimaginable things sexually. Why can't men do the same? Why do we have to believe that, okay, talking about your sexual experiences or your sexual health with your fellow man is awkward or gay or this? I mean, I want to hear some of the things that my guy is doing, that is making his woman attached to him, so that me too I can learn and adapt, up my game. So I believe we need to normalize this conversation, have open dialogue, and most importantly, I think if we catch them young by encouraging educational initiatives that support sexual discussions among young men, it's going to help a lot, because that way you work it into a system that they grow into. Now, we also need to educate ourselves. We need to seek professional help, and we need to communicate with our partners. It is very, very important. Look, communication is not just key. Understanding is also integral. So you need to communicate. If there's no communication, there's no basis for understanding. Now, we also need to build a community for support. This may seem odd, but as odd as it seems, I feel like more men will have less restraint talking about the sexual health if there's a community of men that talk about it. Then we need to practice self-care. My brother, take care of yourself physically, mentally, and sexually. Mindfulness and relaxation, meditation, exercises, regular exercises. You don't have to go to the gym and look buff like his Daniel's bouncer. You can just, do some light exercises that would, get you sweating a bit. It is very, very, very important. So, without keeping you any further, I hope you've been able to learn a thing or two about the other room on this episode. I'm delighted to bring you other episodes in the future. Thank you once again for doing this. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Just tell us about, that sexual experience that you feel like, is worth sharing. You don't have to get personal about it. You don't have to tell us the nitty-gritty. But what do you think can contribute to, what do you think can help men be more open about their sexual health, so that, overall their sense of self and ego is not damaged further than what society has already installed into us? Thank you so much once again for doing this. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you haven't. And remember, peace, progress, and prosperity. Don't forget, you're not alone. See you on the next one.